So I was just going to do a short video, if nothing else, just to get it off my chest, really. The situation with Nigel Farage, what I've heard on the radio today has really been infuriating beyond the frustration I normally feel with Nigel Farage and his antics. Obviously, he's stepping down as an MP so that he can trigger a by-election in a safest seat possible for his party, so he knows he'll get re-elected to create a distraction because the heat is on. And this is what's frustrating. Him and lots of his key party members and key people in the media who are often out giving interviews, Richard Tice this morning, Layla Cunningham, Sarah Potchin and others, all reinforcing this false narrative. Nigel's the most attacked politician. Everything that he's getting from the press is unacceptable. It's establishment versus anti-establishment. There's a lot to unpack there. But the first thing to say, he's taken a 5 million personal donation from a crypto billionaire. His party are receiving services and donations from someone who's a convicted fraudster, and his family. You would expect for any political party, any person in high profile politics to be under scrutiny for that. It's not Nigel being victimised because he's anti-establishment. It's because he should be held to that standard because he's now an MP. And he's also aiming to be the Prime Minister as leader of Reform, who he hopes will win the next general election. So that's not strange. He's not being vilified. That is what you would expect. That's what we've seen with other politicians over and over and over for years on end. That's what happens. Furthermore, this idea that he's the most attacked. Okay, what about Joe Cox? What about David Amess? They were murdered. Yeah, other politicians get attacked too. Now, Sky News did overstep the mark, it seems. I don't know the full details. They went to a house where his daughter was living, but I think it is owned by Nigel Farage. And then obviously he felt that they hassled his daughter. And that's not acceptable. But again, is he the first politician whose family have been hassled by the press and suffered press intrusion? No, he's not. So the key thing to hold on to here, when you hear these allies of Farage talking about how they're just being picked on because they're Reform, is to remember that that is a false narrative. That is not what's happening. He's being challenged on some very questionable dealings, and he's under scrutiny because he's a high-profile public figure and he's in political life and he's an MP, and that's that. And it's really important to remember that.